Hey everyone, welcome to your Autumn Equinox Pick a Leaf reading. I'm excited to bring these to you for this 3-month period, and it's actually a part 2 of two of these videos that I'm doing. The first one was actually back on August 8th, and those were the Lion's Gate portal readings. Those were letting you know what you were surrendering to or what you were getting ready to surrender, and that energy has been working since August 8th up until this reading, which will be from September 22nd to December 21st for this year. And these readings are going to be out, because autumn, fall, what is falling away out of your life to make room for the new. So I will go ahead and put the link for the Lion's Gate portal readings in the description box below, and also a link to the playlist at the end of this video, just to make it convenient for you there. So I would definitely go check those out if you haven't already, just to see what energies we're bringing you into this autumn equinox period. And as I mentioned, this is a pick a leaf reading, so you do have a choice between 3 different leaves, or 2 or 3, as many as you want. We don't limit it here, but if you want to choose the red leaf, that's reading number 1. The orange leaf will be reading number 2, and the yellow leaf will be reading number 3. Number 1 we're going to do first, and so if you chose one of the others, that timestamp will also be in the description box below. So let's dive right in and see what this fall equinox is going to be bringing you. All right, my Pisces, if you chose reading number 1, which is the red leaf, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Power of Surrender cards. And these are going to represent what the Creator wants you to know about what's falling away during your autumn equinox period. And don't worry, right away, we're also going to look into what energy comes in as that energy is falling away and moving out. So you won't be left empty-handed or have a hole in your energy. So let's jump in here one more time. All right, Creator, for our Pisces that chose the red leaf, what do you want them to know about what's falling away? Okay. I really feel like this is the one that is asking to be seen. Oh, I love that. Surrender to joy. Ta-da! And it says, a key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling, like that, during both the hard and easy times. Keep surrendering to more joy. And that is beautiful, because that really feels wonderful for fall, letting all those blocks, all those thoughts and beliefs and should be's and could be's and well, not could be's, but should be's and supposed to be's and need to be's and have to be's, all that stuff, all those blocks to our joy. And I really feel like this attachment to the future, that when all these things happen, then I can be happy. And happiness is what comes from our mind, what comes from our ego, because it's trying to say, I can be happy when all this stuff happens. And that is something we can look at to lower the amount of things that are required in order for us to be happy. In fact, sometimes they say, I'm going to be happy for no reason at all, and then no one can take it away. But joy comes from our soul. Joy comes from our being and our essence. Because that is really part of who we are. We're these powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit beings made of unconditional love. And our essence includes joy and peace, and laughter is all part of who we are. And so I love that these blocks are falling away during fall. And then we're going to pull a card here from the Wild Unknown archetype. And this is going to be what the Creator wants you to know about what new is entering your life, what new energy is coming in, what new thing, circumstance, whatever it might be, will be coming in as you surrender to joy and let those blocks to joy start falling away. imagine regardless, joy is going to be coming in. But we'll see what else the Creator wants you to know here. All right, Creator, so for Pisces that chose the red leaf, what do you want them to know? Okay, they said this one on top here, so we will do that. And you've got the womb. Beautiful, beautiful colors there too. So we'll put that right here, and let's see what that brings in here for you. There we go. So the womb, this is the nest, the belly, the origin. So everything has an origin story. The womb archetype asks us to contemplate the beginning beyond the beginning, the mother beyond the mother. In a world that often negates the power and necessity of feminine principles, this card returns us to the warmth and tenderness and sacred intelligence from which we came. This makes sense, right? I was still talking about the joy of our essence, and that's totally what it's talking about, right? It is a card of receiving, not achieving, of accepting love from the mother of us all. She is the life-giving force that forgives and cherishes even the most wounded and disparate soul. No matter how lost you are, the womb awaits your return to help you heal and grow. This is a card to call, this card is a call to keep things simple, to return, to be reborn in the name of love. The womb is everywhere. It is beyond gender, beyond time. We are within it as it is within us. And it says, what would honoring the feminine look like to you? Where would you begin? Imagining yourself as loved is a good place to start. And definitely, I call, the higher being that I believe in, I call them Creator. And then I also call them the mother and father of all things, because they do encompass both our divine masculine, divine feminine energy. They're, that and so much more. And so every one of us does hold masculinity and femininity, that divineness within us. So there's different pieces we can attach to with that. And it says, consider that Mother Earth must also have a mother, and imagine her. When you're in the light side of this energy, you feel nourished, you feel harmony, you feel warmth, you feel love. And when you're on the darker side of this energy, you feel stricken, you feel like this energy of the ecological crisis, infertility, imbalance. And to go deeper into this energy, it says, look into Gustave Courbet, Courbet, their work, The Origin of the World. And this is beautiful. So as I was saying, joy is who we were, where we came from, and this is about returning to our origin, returning and remembering who we really are. And so as you surrender these blocks and allow yourself to connect to this origin, that's what brings in this beautiful joy. Because when you're full of unconditional love flowing into you and out of you, remembering that's what you're made out of, remembering your higher self, then everything else seems very small. And because you're no longer looking, like I mentioned, for all those things that are supposed to make you happy, that you've been told, all these opinions from the outside telling you what you need to have to be happy. And you're like, well, that list is forever long, I'm never going to be happy. But when we start letting all of that, I call them conditional love laws, fall away and connect to that unconditional love inside us, then this is what we get. We feel free. I mean, literally, you feel like leaping for joy, because you're like, woohoo, I'm free. I don't feel weighed down and suppressed and depressed because of that day's never going to come. I'm never going to be able to meet 100% of all that stuff, because even some of it's contradictory, right? All right. And then we're going to, of course, get more clarification on this. And we're going to pull like 4 sets of cards here. And let me just shuffle a couple here, and then I'll let you know what they're going to represent. Okay. So I'm going to pull a card here, and that's going to represent from the Lionsgate portal that happened on August 8th, all the way up until September 22nd, when the Autumn Equinox begins. And so this is going to be like the experiences and the energy and whatever is coming in and you're bringing with you into the autumn. So this is like maybe knowledge and wisdom you've gleaned, or awarenesses, or experiences, or circumstances, whatever the creator wants you to know about what you're bringing in to this. And then we're going to pull a card here for September 22nd. For that'll be September 22nd up to October 22nd. We'll pull a card here, which will be October 22nd up to November 21st, and that goes back a day because there's 31 days in October, so that's why it just goes back at one date. And this will be November 21st up to December 21st, which is the winter's right before the winter solstice. We'll transition then. All right, so let's see what, now that you know the skinny of all that, we'll see here. Creator, what do you want them to know about the Lionsgate up to September 22nd, please? Okay. And I feel like that one here. Okay, and they're telling me these 2 for this and these 2 for that. So they are fast tracking this. Okay, and then November 21st to December 21st, please. Okay. We'll have that face down. Any others? Nope. Okay, so just the one for that. And then we'll also get clarification for each of these periods, this everyday tarot, as we're going around here. So what does the creator want you to know about August 8th up to September 22nd? Yeah, we got the Father of Pentacles, which would normally be the King of Pentacles in the tarot as well. And so, the pentacles are about our external world, and with it being the king at the end, or the father at the end of the suit, it is about abundance, about feeling whole and complete, and understanding that you have everything you need. You don't have these feelings of lack. In fact, you have this great amount of gratitude and thankfulness that is flowing through you. The King of Pentacles also reminds me like of this feeling that you can also break ancestral cycles, or cycles that go from family to family to family to family, that are passed down. Either it's ways of thinking, or careers that you're supposed to be in, whether it's like a military family, or everyone's doctors or policemen, or a certain kind of field, like everyone goes into it. There's all these patterns and cycles, including, abuses and things like that. But this is like the power, you can just see as mighty horns, that this is about maturity and about movement and breaking of chains, and that you have the power to break those chains as well. So this awareness is coming that you're feeling very much your power and empowered because of it. And I don't know, for some of you it's important that in my head, they touched a memory of Harry Potter when his father, he thought it was his father bringing some energy, magic through to help save him and someone else, when it was actually him coming back from the future to do it. But it's all about, you have the power, you have the magic, just because you do. So just know that you have that power, you have that energy, you have that ability. Yeah, and then you have the Daughter of Cups, which would normally be the Page of Cups in the regular tarot as well. And here is the Holy Grail, the chalice that's full of the living waters, which are the unconditional love from the other side. And so this is a beautiful thing. And this totally fits into what we're talking about too, because here you are as this thinking you're small, and maybe even the ugly duckling. But then in your reflection, in this time that you're going through, you actually see yourself more colorful and more expansive than the black and white world that you had kept yourself in before. So it's some beautiful energy coming in here, because this is connecting to the love. And the page is also, of course, were usually young children who would be bringing news, and so it's also about messages of love that you'll be receiving, which, of course, it can be coming from the outside, but the more potent messages of love that you'll be getting are going to be coming from the inside out, or from the inside to yourself, from the other side, from your awareness of who you are. The daughter, of course, you can look at it as a young child, and this is also like this represents new emotion, new love feelings, which makes sense when you haven't felt joy and that unconditional love before. As you connect and go back to your origin story, then you, of course, are going to be feeling new love and new emotions. And this reminds us, pages, or like the daughters in this deck, always remind me of going back to young childhood, when before we started getting influenced by all the have to, supposed to's, shoulds, need to's, and all those of the outside world of, praise and punishment. Don't act that way. Don't act this way. Act this way. Praise and punishment. Bad boy, bad girl, good boy, good girl. All of that stuff. Before all that comes in, you just have these unbridled emotions, and you're experiencing life, and there's no bad and there's no good, there just is, and you're flowing through, and that's kind of that feeling that you get as you come back. So whatever energy entered on the Lion's portal gate, Lion's Gate portal, that energy has brought this awareness to you up until this time. And we'll also see what else the Creator wants you to know about this period of time before the autumn equinox begins, and just what you're bringing in with you here. So what else do you want our Pisces to know, Creator? Okay, they want that one and that one. No, just that one, not those. Okay. And any others besides those two? Okay, nope, just these two for that period. Okay, perfect. So you've got the Three of Cups here, which normally this means celebration and community and things like that. But for me, it's a special message from the spirit realm. And this represents all of those beings of unconditional love and light, your higher community that you have. And so this, depending on what you believe, it's definitely the Creator, Spirit, the Holy Spirit, whatever your faith is with that. Angels, guardian angels, spirit guides, any loved ones that lived with you in this lifetime and have already gone to the other side, your ancestors, unicorns, fairies, leprechauns, whatever your beliefs are. You have this huge group of beings of unconditional love and light that love you so much and are always giving you messages. And so these messages of love, this is where they're coming from. So I'm glad they made themselves known and saying, yep, we're the ones that are bringing you the messages. So that is your confirmation to do that. And then you have the Four of Wands, and wands are all about your fire. And so that represents like your drive, your ambitions, the spark within you, but it also is your spiritual realm, your spiritual side of yourself. And with there being four wands are very solid. It's like a table with four legs, a square table. It's very solid compared to one with three or two, definitely more than two, right? Or like one big one, it's very solid. So you have this solid connection to the other side. This can represent celebration, and this can also represent celebration. So that also ties into this Father of Pentacles here, which is about gratitude and thankfulness. So you really have this focus during this time of not focusing on what you don't have in your life, but focusing on what you do. And you have that ability, our energy is powerful. Whatever we focus on grows. So if we're focusing on lack and all the stuff that is happening in our life that we don't want to have happen, that just expands the energy and reinforces that. But if we move our energy from focusing on that to focusing on what we are thankful for, what's in our life, and for all the many beautiful things that we do have, then that's what expands, and that what grows, and that gratitude then just triggers more things to be grateful for in your life. So I love that energy that's coming in here for you. And that brings you then into September 22nd, which then you have the Sun of Pentacles. And this would be the Knight of Pentacles in other suits. This is the only Sun or Knight out of the 4 in the minor arcana that is not about super duper fast action. It's about steady moment by moment action. It's more of the planting the seeds and giving it time for it to grow. That it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's about cycles that take time for things to unfold. And so it's like, it's a message of that things don't have to change overnight, and that it doesn't have to be this fast-paced kind of sprint towards any kind of goal or any means or end, but that it's about enjoying the process and being in the moment, which is, very much how we obtain our joys, coming back to this moment. Again, not to the future, trying to speed off to a future sometime later when all these things are met and I can be happy then. It's about come back to this moment now. One of the things that just transformed my life is when I was going through a big, change in my life where I was like, I wasn't happy where I was currently at. It just wasn't fulfilling for me anymore. And so I was like, what is my dream? If I could live my dream, if I won, Powerball and money didn't mean anything, what would my dream be? And so I had, you have these, like I said, those supposed do's and shoulds that, well, this is what someone who is on a spiritual path is supposed to want. I want to be a best-selling author and known for my spiritual advice and blah, blah, blah. And, doing classes and conventions and, then the Creator took me and kind of put me into that place in my mind and said, okay, you're there. And I got to sit in that and go, okay. And they'll go, are you happy? And I'm like, well, what's next? And that is what that feeling was, is like, it's always what's next, because something is supposed to make me feel whole and complete. And when we look on that from the outside, there's always something else. There's always something more. And so that really changed within me this feeling of, well, my dream then became, well, if I'm not happy now, I won't be happy then. So it's about being happy in this moment. And so my dream transformed into, my dream is to be here, right? Or be myself, be who I am right now, right here, right now with the Creator. And then you have the fulfillment, you have the wholeness, you have joy and peace and patience and everything else, because you're not in this mad dash to get somewhere in the future. Okay. And then you have the Hierophant. And the Hierophant, for this reading, represents those spiritual beliefs that you've had that have limited your connection to the other side, to remembering who you really are. And so, like a lot of faiths and organized religions and those types of things, definitely are such a huge, beautiful, important piece of our journeys here. For many of us, it's the only way we even know and get a spark that there's something more than just this human in us and this human situations going on, that there's something more. So it's beautiful, and I don't diss the organized religions, but they do, in their effort to contain and make sure we don't, take on human sacrifice to please the gods, and sometimes we do so much more together when we come together in a faith. Sometimes we do things like the Crusades and kill people and do extreme things that are not of love, but we do so much for love when we gather together too. So beautiful, things that happen because of it. But it also limits us, because they're like, don't believe in that. You can't. And so there's these gates that you feel you can't go beyond because you've been told you're not able to do that. That's wrong to do it, or you're not worthy to do it. But you have the key here that allows you to move beyond those things, those restrictions. And then that's what makes your movement towards understanding more and connecting more to the other side. An example is, which I bring up, is actually the use of cards as, they say divining. And I it's you're connecting to the divine. But in some, religious circles and when I grew up or spent a lot of time in, this would have been considered evil and wrong and of the devil and different things like that. And so I had hesitancy when it entered my life and kept on coming, into my life from different people and different things and situations. And I just asked the Creator, I'm like, I'm really drawn to it, but I'm also very scared because, I've been told this is, going to open me up and I'm going to get demon possessed or something. And, in the Creator, in his loving, gentle way, just said, what, there's purpose and reason for everything in life. And with any tool of communication or anything that we do, it's all about the intent behind it. He said, it's like a knife. A knife can be used to cut bread and spread butter, and and if someone's bound with rope and you want to try to set them free, a knife helps you do that. And he goes, yeah, and it can also cut people and kill people too. But it's whoever is using the tool and their intent behind it is what makes the tool a tool of love or a tool of fear. And so the transition that happened for me and unlock that gate was to go, well, I do this all of love and light, no ill intent. It's all about getting to know the Creator, expanding our awareness of our lives so that we can have more unconditional love and peace and joy and laughter in the world. And so because of that, my relationship with the Creator grew even more and more and more, and with all the angels and all these beautiful beings of unconditional love and light on the other side that want to bring us messages when we ask and give us clarity, and let us know that we're loved. It's like postcards from the other side almost, So whatever is blocking you during September 22nd to October 22nd, you have the key to unlock a lot of that and open up to expand that awareness of your true origin. Not the hearsay, not what other people's opinions are, but you get to find out what your capital T truth is, not what other people's lowercase t truths are. All right, and then what else, Creator, do you have for our Pisces? Okay. Wow, okay. Anything else? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm laughing because of all the cards to come out after I just talked about it, here's the Devil card. And what this represents, it's nothing to be afraid of. This just represents our shadow, our darker side, our humanness, the fight or flight in us. And what this is our shadow, our ego side. We came down here for a reason, for us to experience what it would feel like to feel limited, what it would feel like to feel small, what it would feel like to feel all those emotions of fear. Because in experiencing those, we understand more fully who we are on the other side. Where there is only unconditional love, we wouldn't even know the difference until we experience conditional love and fear. We would have joy endless on the other side. That's just the way it is. If we didn't experience sadness here, we wouldn't even go, oh, joy exists. We don't even know it exists. It just is part of us, right? And so what the shadow brings us is it shows us and brings to our face the things that are binding us, that are holding us back. So like it says here, those things that are making us feel limited, and those gates that are keeping us held back. And so I really feel that these have a lot to do with one another, of course. And they don't do it in a subtle way. Our shadow will bring it up and show us like 5 things from 5 different people, 5 different sources or whatever. And it's just so obvious. You're just like, oh my gosh. Like for me, looking at, over the last couple of weeks, I've, had someone who lost their husband, someone who lost their father, someone who lost their neighbor, someone whose friend tried to end their lives, another friend who lost an important person in their life. And when that happens, you're just like, I think I'm getting a message here. There's something trying to tell me something, right? And that's the kind of, awareness that comes when our shadow brings us that. But then on the flip side of that, like that Ace of Cups here, this chalice, this Holy Grail, here it comes again. You've got the Ace of Cups, the awareness of the unconditional love of the Creator. You have your messengers bringing that to you. You fill up and you overflow out of it, and that because it's cups, you feel it very emotionally, of course. And so we're going to put that over top that here, because this is what that gate opens you up to, that awareness and all of that. And you also have the King of Wands, which wands are your, like we talked about with the 4 of Wands, are your fire, your spark, your focus, and all of that. So on the earthly side, you do get this new, renewed focus and ability to focus your energy into what you do want, and to make movement in there. On the spiritual side, because the wands are your spirit being side of yourself too, is that this, for me, represents your higher self. And so this is really that connection with the higher you, and the understanding, again, coming back to your origins. And so that connection. So this is a beautiful, awareness. The Hierophant is all about your spiritual journey. So number 5, which represents this awareness, this change, this kind of transformational type of energy in there as well. And you do have the 6 of Pentacles, which this is all about giving and taking, balancing, giving and taking, or giving and receiving, really, not taking. But for me, it's kind of represents the codependency card and the awareness of the codependency that we've had in the past. And with that, for me, I always confess and admit, hi, I'm Denny, and I'm a recovering enabler in codependent relationships. This balance that comes into a relationship, usually when you meet someone new, it's usually a give type of relationship. But if for me, before I had a strong drive that I had to be a giver, I could not be on the receiving end of things because that meant I wasn't needed, and I had this strong need to be needed in order to feel good about myself and feel I was worthy, because there's this belief that's underneath all that says, if I'm not able to give you anything, then I'm worthless and you're not going to need me, you're going to go somewhere else. So I wouldn't, in the beginning, it's like give, okay, I'll let them give for a minute. And then when you start into a relationship, then I would say, no, I need to be the giver. And then it changes to this. Instead of an adult, it becomes a parent and a child relationship. And it's like, I want them dependent on me so that they don't leave me, because if I become, their source of life, then they don't want to die. And they'll fear that, and they'll stay with me. It's like a power trip almost. But the thing that happens is, you as an enabler, you give and you give and you give and you give, and you teach them to receive, 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 receive. And then when they try to give, you're like, no, and you reject it. And so they stop giving to you, and you start to get drained because you give everything away, and then you become resentful, right? And exhausted. And so the other part of that is this person down here who we forced into the being the receiver, or what enablers call takers. These receivers, because we're not allowing them to give and feel that amazing feeling that we get when we give, then they're like, okay, well, I feel ugly about myself because I'm not able to give to or anything. And so what do is they have to go outside of our relationship to give and feel like they are, able to be, something to someone, whether that's becoming a workaholic and pouring themselves into their job, or pouring themselves into a sport or a hobby, or into a group of friends, or into an affair. So, those are the things that happen. And this card comes to help you understand and see that you don't need that. You don't have to worry about needing to give to receive. When you connect to your origin story and to your, to this beautiful, amazing, unconditional love, you find you have everything you need inside you. And then, like this Ace of Cups, you fill up, and then the overflow is what other people get. And so there's no codependency. There's just you feeling whole and complete within yourself, and you don't need, anything from the outside world. That is just all extra. It's all abundance. There's no lack. There's no feelings like you're small, because you have, you're connected to this original you, right? So beautiful message. I always love that, because it is such a transformational thing in your life. And then that brings you into October 22nd, which then you have the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is who connects to the other world. She goes into her little temple, and then goes deep into the unknown, into the, to our world on the other side. You connect to the other side. Your intuition is high, your empathy, all these emotions and all these beautiful spiritual awarenesses and connections, is what she represents. And so, definitely it makes sense that, you started off in a wonderful place and you even went to another level. And then this is just saying you're continuing to even go through more gates, to that direction. Yeah, because here you have the Mother of Cups. So again, you have the chalice. You had it here, you had it here, and now you have it again. So you're continuing to connect. And I love that all of these, orbs in your other, is all these people we talked about, all those beings of unconditional love and light on the other side. And I even look at the Mother of Cups, which is like the Queen of Cups in the regular tarot. She's so connected to her emotions and to, the spiritual realm. She's like the High Priestess, but in the minor arcana. So definitely this is like a double duty here of saying your connection to the other side is so emotional and extreme in a wonderful way. You're working out your connection too. And we'll see what else the Creator wants you to know about this period of October 22nd to November 21st, please. Okay, so they said not those. Just this one so far. Okay. And any others. Okay. So first you had the Page of Wands that came out. And so Wands, like we talked about before a couple times, is your connection to spirit, your drive, and all that. But really, the page is messages from spirit is what I'm really getting from this, and returning to that childlike place in your life where you, before you're told, with the Hierophant about what you can and can't do with your spirit, it's like returning to that childlike place. And I think, I need to look it up because I keep on saying it's Wayne Dyer, and I think it is, but I'm not sure. But he would say that he loved talking to little children when their parents went around, because he would ask them, tell me about God. And they would have these amazing stories and amazing awarenesses because they still hadn't been told about what they can say, what they can't do, and all that kind of restriction with, all the human beliefs around spirituality in this realm. And this is like returning back to that place. And, you often hear where young children will, point at the stairs. I remember a friend of mine, she said, her son pointed up at the stairs and said, Uncle Jim. And and she was like, oh my God, they didn't, like her brother had, died like a decade before. So of course her young child never met them, and they never really talked about him and had pictures out with them. But when they were going through a photo album, again, the little child pointed at a picture and went, oh, Uncle Jim. And it was Uncle Jim, And so it's that awareness of that they get to see the spirit, and we're so open to that. And so this totally fits with the Mother of Cups and the High Priestess and all that you're returning to this place of unbridled connection and awareness. And so don't be scared, though. They never make us do anything like, I feel spirit, and I connect with people on the other side that have passed. I have not yet seen them with my physical eyes or heard them verbally. And it's probably because I joke that if I ever did see one or hear one directly in the physical realm, I'd probably poop my pants. And they told me, we'll ease into it. We're not going to all of a sudden pop up and go, hey, and give you a heart attack. So just feel safe with that. And then you have the Hanged Man, which is all about seeing things from a different perspective, seeing things from a higher perspective, because you're hanging from the tree and you're not walking along the ground. And of course, you also have that halo around your head, which represents that. It's kind of, there's in old mythology, I think it was Odin, but there was like this father of gods that hung himself by his foot from a tree, which is totally representative of this, and even sacrificed one of his physical eyes so that he could see the wisdom of the universe and of the higher realms. And so this is all about connecting to your posse on the other side, being aware of your true origins, seeing life from this whole new perspective, outside of time and space, outside of the human ego, outside of fear. And it's definitely going to be an amazing October 22nd to November 21st for you. Because yes, here I was going to mention the Page of Wands is holding the Ace of Wands. And here, this is new spiritual connection, new spiritual energy moving, it's just... you just can't. All these cards are reinforcing all of that message. So it's definitely a spiritual awareness and moving to a different level than you've ever been at before, from October 22nd to November 21st, which brings you into here, which is the Mother of Pentacles. And again, higher self and lower self. It's Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, taking care of yourself. Being free of all of that restriction. The Mother of Pentacles, which is like the Queen of Pentacles in a regular tarot, reminds me a lot of the Empress card in the Major Arcana, which is all about new birth, gratitude, thankfulness, a beautiful emotional awareness of gratitude for what you have, but definitely self-nurturing yourself, taking care of you. But with the story that has been unfolding for you, I really definitely feel like this is your higher self and this is your little self, your human, and you're just embracing and giving to your human side what it's been searching for, which is unconditional love. We're taught to, we have a drive for love. In fact, everything that happens in the human world is either of unconditional love or is a cry for unconditional love, right? When people are angry or sad or whatever emotion it might be, it's a cry that they want to feel loved. They're not feeling loved, they're feeling rejected, and they want to feel safe, like you can be in the, when you're surrounded by this beautiful love that's here, right? And the Pentacles is about the outside world, and like I mentioned, it's really, you've got the Father of Pentacles here. It's a lot of that same, where this is you're feeling powerful that you can do things. This is like feeling the emotional nurturing feeling. So you've got both the Father and the Mother energy, the Divine Father, the Divine Mother. And then we're going to pull cards here too, just to see for November 21st to December 21st, what else the Creator wants you to know. But it's definitely this wonderful combination where you're not trying to kill your ego, you're embracing yourself, and you're embracing that, giving yourself the love that you've been searching for all along. Yeah, because you got the Nine of Cups, which is wishes fulfilled. You're feeling emotionally whole. Every single one of those cups is this Ace of Cups 9 times over. You're just beaming over and flowing over with love. Yeah. Because here's the Eight of Swords. This is how you felt before. All your thoughts of supposed to, should be's, needs to's, all that external world, it made you feel confined and trapped, and you felt blinded and couldn't see. And then you see the water under here, so it was very emotional as well. This is all about your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes. And this is showing you the difference between the two, the contrast of when you felt that way and now you feel this way. So it's night and day with that. So this is a beautiful awareness of reflecting too of because you experienced so much, so deeply, that rejection and all those emotions rooted in fear, you feel this unconditional love so extreme. Because the deeper you go into the shadow, the more thoroughly you understand and appreciate and can grasp the opposite emotion in the spiritual realm. So it's a beautiful, beautiful awareness that happens for you. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here yet from another Wild Unknown deck. It's a companion to these two, but this is the Animal Spirit deck. And what we're going to do, we're going to pull a card here to see what animal spirit guide is going to be with you from the Lionsgate portal all the way through to at least the winter solstice. So what companion is along with you during this journey, bringing their energy in to assist you, to help you on your path. So Creator, what do you want for our Pisces that chose the red leaf? Make it really obvious for us, if you would. Oh, okay. You get two beautiful guides that are with you. You have the horse. I love the third eye there. Connection to the moon, and the other side like the high priestess. And you also have the lizard. So let me see what each of these brings for you here. And of course, so you have earth energy here with the horse that has momentum, freedom, expansive energy, and force. So the horse represents the most masterful form of earth energy within the deck. It provides us with momentum so reliable, so supportive, that you can ride on its back toward any goal, no matter how difficult the terrain. So horse personality is fully awakened, fully alive, and cannot be defeated. The horse's freedom becomes available to us when we hone and collect our energy through daily practice. Physical stamina, exercise, and mental focus, meditation, are the secret weapons behind the horse's legacy. And when you're in balance with the horse energy, you achieve anything and you never give up. When you're out of balance with this energy, you run away or you feel weak. And to bring that energy into balance, they say it actually strength training. And that can be both physical strength and spiritual strength training, right? And then we look at the lizard, which is fire energy. So you have earth and fire energy helping you out during this time. And the lizard is instinctual, sensitive to the subtle, and dreamer. And the lizard is an expert in the realm of sensory perception. As if it has a sixth sense, the lizard hears what is yet to be spoken and sees what's yet to manifest. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. Big crowds, lots of travel, or overstimulation will drain a lizard of their magical essence. And this card is an indication to pull back from the bright lights and big city and return to the inner artist who's been whispering your name. When in balance, you're artistic, telepathic, and spiritual. And when you're out of balance with this energy, you're elusive, non-committal, and flaky. And to bring this energy into balance, it says, work on a creative project. And so I love that. You know, you have the horse who's going to carry you through any difficulty, and you have the lizard who is all about a master and connection to the other side. So you have these two beautiful, you can even draw a picture of a horse with a lizard on its back or something that's taking you through this beautiful spiritual journey and the spiritual connection to joy. And, you know, absolutely, this would represent very much a joyful card for your ending here. But you will feel that throughout this entire period, you're going to start to feel this joy seep into where you end up in this last month, just like, I just can't stop smiling. And I really love this for you. Just know that as you go throughout this entire autumn period, that every second of every day you are unconditionally loved by our Creator, the Mother and Father of all things. And I love you too. You have an amazing autumn, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. You take care now. All right, all my Pisces, if you chose reading number 2, which is the orange leaf, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Power of Surrender cards. And this is going to represent what the Creator wants you to know about what is falling away during the Autumn Equinox period. And don't worry, as soon as we find that out, then we're going to move immediately into finding out that as that energy moves away, what energy is moving in for you. So you won't be left with a hole in your life. There's always energy in every moment, right? All right, Creator, for our Pisces that chose the orange leaf, what do you want them to know about what's falling away out of their life during the Autumn Equinox period? All right, that is the one that wants to be heard, and you've got surrender to passion. And it says, get out of your head and feel the fire in your belly. Focus on the people or activities that ignite your passion and let it flow. And of course, you being a Pisces, you're very in tune with your body and very in tune with your intuition and your gut feelings and things that come in here. But what's going to be falling away is these blocks that have been in the way for you to recognize that. And you're going to start to be able to really trust your that intuition, trust that feeling in your heart, and actually those obstacles that you feel Also that you can't live your passions, and that you feel, you have this restriction on from the outside world and from all these beliefs, all those shoulds and woulds and have tos and need tos, that you aren't being able to live your passion, not live what makes your heart sing. But during this time, those fears start to fall away, because it's like this passion that's been bellying up within you is beginning to outweigh those feelings of fear, because you feel like I've got to do this, but what about this and this and this and this? And you're like, okay, I won't do it. And then it's become so big now. It's like, I've got to do this, that the fears are like, okay, you're gonna overcome anything that you want to, because this is what you want to do. So you'll make it happen, even if it takes 10 years to get there. I'm going to start taking steps now to get there. I don't care. I'm not going to let anything stop me anymore. And that's kind of the feeling that it's like this is what's falling away, those blocks and that mistrust of trusting your gut feeling. And we're going to pull a card here from the Wild Unknown archetype and just see what the Creator wants you to know about what is moving in as that's moving out. As you attach to your passions and surrender to your passions, allowing yourself to feel them and act upon them, what does that bring into your life here? So, Creator, for Pisces that chose the orange leaf, what do you want them to know, the new that's coming in for them? Okay, that is the one there. Look, you have the Queen. So you become the ruler of your own heart. You become the Queen of Hearts, right? But not in that Alice in Wonderland, off with their heads feeling. You really come into connection, like the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Hearts. And the tarot is really kind of like the High Priestess as well, the one who connects to her deep unknown, the subconscious, to the other side. So I really feel like that is what this brings in for you. Okay, yeah. And it talks about here about the Empress, the Mother Queen, the Sovereign. Like her counterpart, the King, the Queen has a dualistic nature. Either she presides over the realm with grace and eloquence that comes from the heavens to uplift the spirit of others, or she falls into petty, contemptuous moods, casting a shadow across the land. That would be the off with your heads, right, from Alice in Wonderland. If the king is the ego, the queen is the expression of that ego in the world. She is the lotus's bloom, the dancer's bow, the moon's radiant reflection. When the queen is seated in her rightful and righteous place, she's patient and forgiving. She waits for the grace of God and Goddess to move through her, striving and grasping for nothing. To be the benevolent leader, to embody the queen, is to settle into deep trust, resolve, and power. The royal queen fears nothing, for divinity itself cradles her heart. I love that. And what more, your passions, and you can even see the image here without a glare on it there. Her heart is just glowing. Beautiful. It also says, read Cleopatra's monologue in Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra, Act 5, Scene 2. Then read about Inanna, Inanna, Tara, Tara, and Hera, Hera. So if that resonates with you, check it out. And it says, the queen does not accept the hand of a prince, but claims the throne, knowing the king draws near. She is a magnet for the fully embodied masculine and entertains nothing less. I like that, message too about not settling. You don't settle for, what, the temporary, the thing that you're supposed to, accept, and the thing that you're supposed to do. You're finding your own path, your own passions, and headed off in the direction that you want to do for your life. And it says when you're in the light side of this energy, you're the embodiment of grace, courage, resolve, and stillness. When you're in the darker side of this energy, then you're vain and wrathful and self-righteous and demanding. To go deeper into this energy, they also recommend reading Nikki Giovanni's Ego Tripping, Nina Simone singing Stars at the 1976 Montreux Jazz Festival. So if any of that resonates with you, check it out as well and see what message is on there for you. But yeah, I definitely feel, like this. You're becoming the queen of your heart instead of feeling like you're someone in the court or in the little village down below that all you do is listen to the rules that are passed down to the peasants. But this is about you taking control of your life and your heart and your passions, and really connecting to that beautiful love that you find on the inside, which is the unconditional love of our Creator of all things, the Mother and Father of all things. And we're, of course, going to dig more into this. We're going to pull a card here. These are the Wild Unknown Tarot, which is a companion to these Wild Unknown archetypes. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull 4 separate sets of cards. And I'll tell you what each of those are going to represent here. So the first card that we're going to pull here is going to represent from August 8th, the Lionsgate portal, all the way up till September 22nd, which is the beginning of the Autumn Equinox. And then this card, and this is going to represent all the energies and experiences that you're bringing in to the Autumn Equinox. So what the Creator wants you to know about that. And then we'll pull a card here, which will represent September 22nd to October 22nd. And then this card will represent October 22nd to November 21st. It's one day less because there's 31 days in October. So it shifts back the date one day. And that's going to be November 21st to December 21st, which will bring us up to the winter solstice. So we'll see what the Creator wants you to know about each of these periods. And we'll start with the August 8th to September 22nd. What do you want them to know, Creator? Pisces. Okay. And then the September 22nd to October 22nd. Okay, that's 2. And then October 22nd, to November 21st. Get 3 for that one. And then this will be November 21st to December 21st. Okay. And then we will get clarification for each of these periods too through these everyday tarot. All right, I'm just going to grab a quick sip of water here. There we go. Okay, so we'll start off here. So from August 8th to September 22nd. And the Creator is bringing you the Son of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups in a regular tarot. They call it Sun. The cups are all about your emotions. So everything we've been talking about here. And the Son of Cups, being a knight, I think I told you it was the Knight of Cups in the other ones, is about putting that love into action. And this here, the cup, this is like the chalice. This is the Holy Grail. What's in there is this amazing living water, which is the unconditional love of the Creator of all things, like we were talking about. So whatever energy came into you for the Lionsgate portal, when it's coming in here, it is bringing in this amazing awareness of this love, and you're already putting love into action. You're already, it's like you took it and ran with it, and all that information, blocks are already falling away where you're allowing that love to bubble up from your heart, and you're already starting to make decisions and take actions differently than you ever did before, even with that period. So that's pretty amazing. And then we'll take a look here and see what else the Creator wants you to know about this period between August 8th and September 22nd. All right, Creator, what else do you want them to know about that period of time here, this amazing love that they're putting into action? What else do you want them to know, okay? And anything else? Okay, just that one. 9 of Wands. So yeah, Wands is your fire. It's your spark, your drive. It also is the spirit side of yourself, and you have your hand on your Ace of Wands here, which I love this because this is like perseverance, and this beautiful spiritual energy that you're getting is just giving you the ability to remove obstacles that are there, because as you move that Ace of Wands out of the way, you have enough space to walk right through those obstacles. So like we were saying, you're already removing obstacles out of your way. And then you have the Queen of Swords here, which is a beautiful card too. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes. And what I love is that she sits on a throne of cups. So she's very much the divine feminine, you know, a queen, of course. And so she's mastered her thoughts and her mind. She's toward the end of the deck, of course. And she brings in this beautiful awareness that if you only make decisions based on your logic and not your emotion and not your gut, that it ends up being very dry, you know. What I love about it too is she is, of course, has her thoughts and beliefs that she's staying a hold of, but she also has her hand extended, so she does have an open mind about receiving those things, you know, receiving new thoughts and new beliefs as well. So a beautiful energy coming into this first month, because it really is that open mind, and you having that understanding that, you know what, I want to, you know, make decisions with my passion as well. You know, and Pisces, your water signs, and you're used to swimming in the world of your emotions. And so it's easy for you to transition this, but there were some pretty hefty beliefs that I'm seeing here that were keeping you from your passions, because you do feel things very deeply. So as when you're younger and you're developing this, you know, your conditions of what's right and what's wrong, and the shoulds and the have tos, the supposed tos, the need tos, all of that, when there was praise and punishment, you felt the punishment very, very deep, as well as the praise very, very deep. And so when you made a decision on what a should be is in your life, you put some pretty strong bricks around that. It wasn't just like a little picket fence that, okay, this is what's going to keep me in there. I mean, it was, you know, very much a tall wall that you can't get through very easily. But because you're the one that put them in place, you're realizing, you know, with this Queen of Swords especially, that, oh, I can remove that as well. Especially when you are connecting to this beautiful unconditional love here from the inside out. Which brings you into September 22nd. And lo and behold, you have the Mother of Pentacles, which would be the Queen of Pentacles. And you can see she's Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. And so this is really about you're nurturing yourself. You're making decisions for yourself. You're making decisions, you know, from this beautiful place, you know, divine feminine again. So there's emotion coming in. The pentacles are your external world. So you're allowing these decisions, allowing this energy, allowing this new awareness to help you make decisions about the external world and the things that are going on here. The Queen of Pentacles, or Mother of Pentacles, also is very much about gratitude and thankfulness, and there's so much that you are thankful for because of this new awareness. But whatever you focus on grows, and you've been focusing on gratitude. So gratitude and things to be grateful for have been growing in your life. It's also a wonderful card of, your higher self, the being of unconditional love, and your lower self, your human side, this beautiful bond between it, and you're feeling that safety and that security as well throughout this month. And then you have the Mother of Swords. So again, the Queen of Swords, this would be the Queen of Swords, is making herself known here. So you've got two queens here. You got a queen here. So definitely that the Queen, the Divine Mother, the Divine Feminine, and really connecting to that Goddess feeling, that Divine Mother feeling. For those of you, like in a Christian faith, you can look at the Divine Mother as the Holy Spirit, the Comforter. It's that very nurturing, comforting side of our Creator. That's why I call it the Mother and Father of all things, because the Mother side of the Creator is just as important as the Divine Father side of it. It's the one that brings us this beautiful, beautiful love. So this is fantastic. You probably end up with all queens all the way around. But we'll see what else the Creator wants you to know about this September 22nd to October 22nd period here. Okay, anything else? Okay, these two. So you got the Five of Swords, and what this represents is that as the 5 is like the number of change and transformation, and you can see that as you change your approach to life, as you change your thoughts and beliefs, some people are not going to be happy about it, and they will be walking away, and that's okay. They serve their purpose in your life, and they're on their own journey, their own path. And so they are just going to go, and that's okay. You will see them again, if not in this lifetime, then afterwards when we all get together for the huge after party. So just know that, with this change of thoughts that's coming about, that it does not always sit right with everyone. People expect you to stay the same forever. And how boring is that? But when we change and other people don't, that can cause, some frictions. And you just have to be okay with it. And then you do have the Ace of Pentacles, which just represents new possibilities, not necessarily new ideas, but just new awareness around things you didn't see before, new opportunities, new ways of doing things in the outside world than you had before, which totally makes sense with, this. This is sparking more change in your life. And, like we talked about, as these blocks fall away out of your way of thinking that, where before you, like, I can't do that. Like, let's say photography is what you love to do. And you're like, well, there's no way that I could be a professional photographer, so I'm just going to make it a hobby. I do it every once in a while. Well, with these obstacles falling away and this new passion and this new connection to living life instead of existing, you start to see different ways and new opportunities. Like, wait a minute, I might be able to do this. How can I, monetize that? How can I earn a living off of this? What way can I do that? And you're starting to see these new opportunities and these new ways that you could do it unfold in the external world for you, which has to do with your swords too, your thoughts and your mentalities. And then you have the Empress, so the Queen, this card mentioned, this is also the Empress. So again, the Empress is like the Queen of Queens. So I'm surprised that she's there. I'm becoming a little giggly. But she is about new birth. She brings you the living waters, that come in this little thing here. It is about freedom and naturalness. The number 3 is creativity. So it's just unfolding all this amazing, beautiful energy and creative ways of being able to have your dreams come true and to live your passions. So just a wonderful awareness of things. Change is happening, and with it being Pentacles and Pentacles, I really feel like this is where you did a lot of your inner work already from August 22nd to September 22nd. This month, you're just like, okay, this is the plan, or we're rolling stuff out, and you're already having it influence your physical world, which brings you into October 22nd to November 21st. Yeah, not a surprise. So you have the Hanged Man. You're seeing things from a different perspective and not delaying. The Hanged Man can usually mean a transition from a period of waiting. So the little stuff that you're implementing here, October 22nd, you're just literally balls to the wall, where you're just, I feel like you're going. You're just changing things and implementing things left and right. But you did a lot of thinking about it, and you're following your hearts and your passion and your intuition in making decisions too. Okay, we'll come back to that one here. Yeah, intuitions. So I knew that was one of these cards was about intuition, which you have the Moon connecting to your higher self, connecting to the unknown, connecting to the spiritual side, all those beautiful support team that you have, that higher point of view. We have all these, the mother and father of all things, spirit, angels, guides, loved ones on the other side, all these beings of unconditional love and light that have stepped out or are not in. I mean, they didn't step out of it because they never stepped into it, but they're outside of time and space. And so we can ask them, hey, can I have your advice about blah, blah, blah? Give me some signs, give me some hints, give me some messages. And they will tell you, as long as it doesn't interfere with the lessons and the experiences you wanted to have. There's some things that we want to experience and we want to remain in the dark. And so if we don't get an answer, they're like, sorry, it's like getting a message and it's all blacked out because it's been redacted. So, just know that you do have these messages coming in, and trust your instinct, trust those signs and synchronicities. And then you come to this is the Six of Pentacles. And for me, this is about being able to receive and not feel like you have to be the only one giving. And so you really deal with your self-worth around your feelings of lack and your feelings of not being worthy to receive. And it's also a card of what I call the card of codependency, the awareness of codependent relationships. And so I kind of went in this in the first reading. So if you watch the first reading, I'm going to talk about it again here in case you've only listening to the second reading here. I always say that I am totally upfront that I'm a recovering enabler in codependent relationships. It is something that you live with your entire life because it has to do with these undercoring beliefs in your human ego side that you have to, it's like this need to be needed. I have to be able to give in order to feel worth something. And if I'm not able to give you anything in a relationship, then that would scare the crap out of me before, because if you don't need me for anything, then you don't want to be with me. And so you'll find someone else. And so, a codependent relationship is we try to, attach ourselves so much to them, become codependent on each other, where we become their life force, and we think that will mean that they will never leave us. And usually when you come into a relationship, it's giving and receiving, and then as we like, okay, I'm going to need to come in and claim this person for my own. Then we move very quickly into relationships because we need to move fast, with the element of surprise to take over their life. And as we become everything for them, and not allow them to give to us, because if we allow people to give to us, then that makes us feel, oh my God, you don't need me. I need to make sure you know that you need me so you won't leave me, because that always works. And then that's sarcasm, of course. And then, instead of it being an adult to adult relationship, it does this change where the enabler becomes the parent and the person down here that we've overtaken becomes the child in our relationship. And the beautiful thing that unfolds with that is that we convince them to receive from us, and all their attempts to give to us are thwarted, so they stop giving to us and just become the little baby bird that we feed, and then we feed, and then we feed, and then we feed, and then we become tired and exhausted, and we feel empty, and then we become resentful because we just have nothing left to give. And the other side of that, with the other person that receives it on the other end, they, of course, how ugly does it feel if you're not able to give, right? If you're only able to receive. And because they have been taught they can't give to us, then they will try to give somewhere else, because they love that feeling of giving too. So they'll pour themselves into their job where they get that validation for giving, or they'll pour themselves into working out, or a hobby, or a group of friends, or an affair with someone else, anywhere where people are accepting what they're giving and allowing them to give, because we won't, right? And so that's what that relationship works out and ends up, that's what codependency ends up being. And this message is awareness around codependency, and awareness around that you don't need to have people need you, because you need you. And so you kind of develop this codependent relationship with yourself, with your, higher self, bringing you the love and everything you need to your lower self. And the beautiful thing about that is that we're still able to, fill up and give to the world and have that wonderful feeling. But the love, the resource from our higher self is endless. And so we never get exhausted. We never become resentful, because we love just overflowing with that love down to our small human self. And then our human self fills up with that love and feels the nurture that it's been looking for, feels whole and complete, and just overflows out of them into the external world. And so, that's the beautiful message about, about your beliefs around your self-worth and lack, and being able to receive. And then the understanding of the codependent type of relationships that are a mirror for us, pointing us back inward to your Queen of Hearts. And we'll see what else the Creator wants you to know here about September 22nd to November 21st. That's a beautiful, freeing awareness. I mean, it only took me 5 or 6 relationships, and that I was journaling, and it was a glorious day when I was reading through my journal back 5 years, and I saw the pattern, and I'm like, dun, da, 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 duh. Usually accompanying that too, but it was beautiful, and it was perfect timing. I went through the exact amount of relationships that I was designed to go through, each of those other people being my teachers, showing me how I felt about myself, always pointing me back to me. And so I always look at them. I have no bitterness, no resentment towards any of them. I love them all dearly, and I see that they were being those mirrors for me, and they weren't doing things to me. And that's a hindsight awareness, not a during awareness. And here you go. So you got the 8 of Wands. Wands are your spirit, your drive and all that, but this is messages coming in from the spirit realm. So spiritual messages coming from the spirit world, of course, with the definitely with the moon here, you're getting those clear messages are coming fast and furious and all over the place, which totally makes sense, because we knew that this was going to be, like I said, a balls to the wall type of month where things are happening quick and you're getting messages and getting in this energy just pouring into you, and which is perfect, because that's what's driving you to get so much done, is because you have the energy to do so. And then you have the 10 of Pentacles, which this is all about the outside world. And 9 of Pentacles is an amazing card because it's about self-abundance and everything else. But this is about not only are you feeling abundant and whole, but it's impacting the animals and the children and the adults and everyone else and your family tree. It's like the legacy card. These changes and these, like a spiritual evolution, the spiritual awareness that you're having is going to impact not only you, but others and other generations to come. And it's another message to me too. I love this family tree here because it also is that there's this message of breaking cycles of things that have been passed down from generation to generation, things that, because children raising children, raising children, raising children, we only know what we're taught until we question it and change it. And a lot of the past, especially, we weren't such an inquisitive race of humanity. So we blindly just took things from generation to generation to generation, didn't know any better because a lot of us grew up in the same towns our entire life. But as our whole kind of way of living changed, where people would move away for jobs, the invention of the internet, all sorts of stuff, airplanes allowing more world travel, people started experiencing different ways of thinking and different ways of being, which then caused us to go, and be able to inquire our lives and that inquisitiveness, which then allowed us, it started, even around the times of therapy, when therapy used to be shh, don't tell people that you're going to a crazy doctor or a shrink, it became, I'm going to a counseling and looking at our emotional state and our mental beliefs and everything became like this new exciting journey. And that happened in our lifetime, right? And because of that, you have the power and the ability to break chains that have never been broken before, whether it's, just thoughts and beliefs around the kind of jobs you're supposed to be, or the type of people you're supposed to marry, or the type of wealth you're supposed to have, all those things, even abuses though that have been passed down. And this is a message that you, along with this energy you're getting, that you have this ability to break those chains. And not only for you and your family line, but the people around you, because of who you are and what you're doing, you're able to help them also break chains in their own lives. So beautiful, beautiful energy there. Because it is the 10, so it's endings and new beginnings as well. So wonderful changes. Which brings you into November 21st, which, you get the star. And so this is you connecting and realizing who you are. Again, surrounded by all your posse of unconditional love beings of light that are supporting you. And a message of hope, and that knowing that we see stars when it's dark out. When it's light out, this is what stars you see. You don't see them. It's only when it gets darker as when you can see the lights shining. And it really has to do about this contrast and understanding that, your whole journey here, you came here to understand who you are by experiencing what you're not. So when we are on the other side and all we see is the light, we don't know in detail who we are until we came in this shadowy world. Universe was created so that we could see who we are by experiencing what we're not at the same time. And so this is beautiful. It's very much Aquarian energy, the star, in that, represents, this living waters too. You can see the star on the vessel here. It's the cork. The living waters are that unconditional love, of the creator, those living waters, like we talked about in this Ace of Cups. And so this very much is about being that bright light shining. We talked about you impacting others, and breaking those cycles. You just start to glow and because you're living your passion and you're just being the beautiful, beautiful you, unbridled. You can't help but glow and shine. And then we'll see what else the Creator wants you to know for this period between November 21st and December 21st. Okay, so I got that one. Those 4 are it. Okay, we're going to start with this one. We have the 10 of Wands. And there's 2 meanings to this for me. The earthly human side is, you're learning not to take on the energies of everyone else and feel you have to carry everyone else's load, everyone else's shadow emotions. And so you realize that being a Pisces and being so connected, you do feel people's emotions quite easily. But there's this double message that comes with this, is that yes, you can feel everyone's emotions, but you also have this ability to carry all this amazing energy that you are. And you not only have to feel people's emotions, but you can generate this beautiful love, and it floods out, and you can influence other people's emotions, make it an easier choice for them to choose love instead of fear. So you can put this electricity into the air around a situation. And what I usually say is that, you have this fire hose, this ability to really blast out this beautiful energy. And when that's not turned on, that's when everyone else's energy comes in, and where you feel the burden side of it, right? But when you turn on that fire hose, no one could put anything in there, because the pressure, the power that shoots out, nothing can make it back into that hose. So that is a message for you. And again, a 10. So endings and new beginnings, a wonderful ending to old ways of thinking about your spiritual energy, and that energy that you have, and new levels and new ways of expressing that energy. Okay, yeah. New ways. 6 of Swords. Again, swords, thoughts, beliefs, mentalities, mindsets. You're leaving one, moving to different areas. So you are having this change and this move from old ways of thinking to new, which makes total sense, like I was just talking about. And also can represent actual physical moving to, or movement of some sort in your life. Of course, this is a general reading, so that varies for each and every one of you there. And then you have the King of Wands, which for me, for this reading especially, Wands being your spirit and King being the end, this is actually your higher self. This represents the higher self, you, the powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love that you are. So that's just this connection here, because that's what this is here. That's you. You are the star, the superstar. Yeah, okay, and that makes sense here. So, yeah, Knight of Swords. So definitely movement, and it's quick movement, and like we said, so this, yeah, because you've got 10 of Wands and King of Wands, and you got 6 of Swords and Knight of Swords. So you definitely have, with the 6 of Swords and Knight of Swords, there's definitely movement, and that could be, like I said, moving from one location to another, as far as your home. It could mean moving businesses, moving jobs, movement in relationships, either movement to another level as well. That can mean like a promotion in work, or a different position at work, or leaving a relationship, or moving to the next stage in a relationship. So just a lot of movement in different ways, including, of course, you're moving to another level in your spiritual path and awareness. All right, this is perfect for you. I'm loving it, loving it. And then lastly, we're going to pull a card here from another Wild Unknown deck, but this one is the Animal Spirit. And what we're going to pull from here is what the Creator wants you to know about what kind of, what animal guide or spirit animal guide is going to be with you all the way from your August 8th Lionsgate portal all the way up through to at least the winter solstice, if not after. So Creator, what spirit animal do you want them to be aware of? It's going to be with them through this beautiful autumn journey. Okay. And you got the earthworm. We're going to put them right here. And we'll see what energy comes with that earthworm. So the earthworm is shy, hesitant, reluctant to share inner vision or passions, right? We have all felt the woes of the earthworm at some point along the way. The earthworm indicates a newbie or novice working to establish confidence in a new field. Others around you may seem wise and experienced, but it's important to remember they once felt earthworm energy too. So this card is a reminder not to be intimidated or lose hope. Mastery takes time, and you're on the right track. Besides, rumor has it, a beginner's mind offers the most valuable insights. And when you're in balance with this energy, you're earnest, you're intelligent, you're valuable. When you're out of balance with this energy, then you're self-conscious and apprehensive like you were before. So to bring this energy into balance, it says speak up and risk embarrassment. And it's the perfect energy, for this journey for you, because not only do earthworms crawl into the ground and create these tunnels for when it rains, the moisture gets down into the root and helps things grow. This energy was talking about, with the, the awareness around that feeling of newness. It understands that energy and can help you face that fear and that intimidation that you feel as you're going through, and really push you and give you this bright energy to take the risks, to do the things, because you, when you do what you always did, you get what you always got, and you don't want to get that got anymore. So beautiful. I'm loving this autumn for you. And just know that as you go through this experience, each and every single day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. You have an amazing autumn, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. You take care now. All right, my Pisces, if you chose reading number 3, which is the yellow leaf, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off here by pulling a card here from the Power of Surrender cards. And this is going to represent what the Creator wants you to know about what's falling away from you during the autumn season. And don't worry, right away, we will take a look into what energy is coming in as that other energy is moving out. So there's not going to be any gap left. You will start to feel the new energy coming in as the old moves. So let's one more time here. All right, Creator, what do you want our Pisces to know that chose the yellow leaf reading about what's falling away out of their life during this period? Okay, and we can make it really clear here for us. Okay, thank you. You got surrender to miracles. Oh, and look at the dolphins. I love dolphins. And it says, be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. So yeah, the doubt in miracles is falling away. And I love the purple of all this too, which represents your crown chakra. And because miracles all come from the Creator, come from the other side, come from our connection to unconditional love energy. So I love that you're surrendering the blocks to miracles for your life. And then we're going to pull a card here from these wild unknown archetype. And this is going to be that as this energy flows out, what new energy is coming in? And what does the Creator want you to know about what's coming in? Creator, so for Pisces that chose the yellow leaf, what do you want them to know about the new energy, the newness that's coming in? So this is the one right here. And you got the Mystic. And I love that transformation into the beautiful butterfly. And we'll put this here while I destroy my other stacks. Okay, and let me just grab the energy here. Yep, so the Mystic is the seeker, the light worker, the dreamer. The Mystic is often misunderstood in our culture, depicted as a wandering or light-hearted daydreamer. Like Pisces are, right? I know that feeling. I have a lot of Pisces in my chart, so sometimes I can come across as being a daydreamer. But you know, it is what it is. Yeah, like Shiva, the true mystic plays a critical role in society, remaining fearlessly dedicated to the path of transformation. In order to save the earth from darkness, Shiva swallows the poison of the world and holds it in his throat, slowly transmuting the liquid into nectar. This is the work of the mystic. They do not fear darkness, but rather sit in the presence of it, harness the potential and latent energy behind it, and embed it with light. They are patient and prudent changemakers, seeking growth above all else. Unanswerable questions are the mystic's lifeblood. The mystic revels in the mystery, in the great riddle of life, dancing with the forces of light and dark upon its wings. Yeah, so definitely it's diving into the unknown world. I mean, the mystic is all about connecting to both the shadow. It all experiences the human and the spiritual world as well. It says, it may seem that the mystic is inward facing, yet its light beams back to the world with the strength of 1,000 stars. And like any light worker, the mystic must build a relationship with fire. This begins by awakening the inner flame, or tapas. I think that's how you say. I probably murdered it. It's Tapas. So it's that inner flame within. And when you're in the light side of this energy, you're a remover of darkness, a visionary and ageless, which that can, that's like that miracle feeling. Someone who is, you're able to talk to people, and because you're Pisces and someone in tune with people's emotions, that, you can let people talk to you, and because you feel what they're feeling. You don't have to take on the emotions as your own, but you can feel what they're feeling. And with a couple words of just, I know you feel like this and this and this, right? And they're like, someone gets me, you understand. And then you can comfort them with whatever words you hear from your lighter side, and that transforms their darkness into light. So your big transformative energy that you have as well. When you're in the darker side of this energy, you expect results. You seek attention and recognition. So, it's all about the intention, with this. To go deeper into the energy, you can look into Zen koans, Zen and koans, Koans. You can look into poetry or Murakami novels. And Murakami is Murakami. So if you feel so inclined and drawn to those, if they resonate, check those out. And we are, of course, going to go deeper into this. And to do that, we're going to use these Wild Unknown Tarot, which is a companion deck to these archetypes of the Wild Unknown. And what we're going to do is pull 4 stacks, and I'll explain them in just a moment. All right. So I'm going to pull 1 card here, and that card is going to represent the energies and experiences that are coming in for you from August 8th, when the Lionsgate portal was, all the way up until September 22nd, which is when the Autumn Equinox starts. So what the creator wants you to know about what you're bringing into that autumn period. And we'll pull a card or cards here for September 22nd through October 22nd. October 22nd to November 21st. It's 1 day less because there's 31 days in October. So it just bumps it back a day. And then this card will be November 21st to December 21st, which is right up to the winter solstice. So let's take a look here. And we'll see what the Creator wants you to know. We'll start with August 8th to September 22nd for that card here, or cards, whatever comes out. Cards. And here for September 22nd to October 22nd. Okay, this one and these two. And then this one will be October 22nd to November 21st. And then this here is November 21st to December 21st. Okay. You get, wow, 4 for that one. Okay, and then this one, what is this one? This one's a bonus. And I haven't had those in any of my readings. So this is going to be interesting. In fact, we're going to put that like right here in the middle. And then we're also going to get clarity on these through these everyday tarot as we go throughout it as well. I'm just going to take a swig here of water. All right, let's jump in. So from August 8th up to September 22nd, we've got the Chariot coming here. So definitely, this is about your understanding the choice that you have every moment, which you can either, every moment is a choice of love, either of unconditional love or a cry for love. And a cry for love is when we fear losing conditional love and all those fears that come from it. So every emotion we're feeling every second is either of unconditional love or in our fear ego, where we're fearing losing love. And this Chariot is this energy and awareness that you're the chooser. Because usually they'll show like a chariot and there'll be a black sphinx or a black horse or a black creature, and then a white sphinx or a white horse or a white creature of some sort. And it's usually this, you're being able to make this choice of, I'm either choosing of fear or I'm choosing of love, of my shadow or of my light. And this is a beautiful awareness that is coming for you, that you get to choose, and that every choice, every emotion you've had your entire life has been your choice. And yeah, at first that's kind of makes you a little put off or angry, right? You're like, what are you trying to say? I'm the one responsible for all my emotions all my life. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you also are in charge for them going forward. So you get to control that. So where you felt out of control before, you can be in control of really one of the most important things in our lives, right? Which is, no matter what happens in our life, I get to choose what it means about me and how I feel about it and what emotions I have. And if I don't like feeling a certain way about something, I can look at how to change it. So a very powerful major arcana card. And it is the 7, which is also a very spiritual number that is taking you into this realm for your spirituality. Yeah. Which would be the Hermit, which is about, you're taking, during this time, you're really spending some time alone, spending time doing your inner journey and finding the light, which is you. That's the Hermit's journey, is really moving in, because that light, usually it's a star and a lantern, but that light is your inner self. And so it's definitely this movement into this wonderful spiritual awareness of who you really are and connecting to your power. So I'm loving that. And then we're going to pull some cards here from this everyday tarot and just find out what else the Creator wants you to know about this period of time. What are you coming in with? Okay, so these 3. So you have Temperance. So this is beautiful balance. It's the this is like the Ace of Cups, which is like the goblet, the chalice. It's bringing the living waters. It's bringing you what you've really been thirsty for. This is your human side that is wanting, and thirsty and hungry, and has been looking outside of itself, and it has never been filled by it at all, because the only thing that can fulfill you is your higher self bringing the love to your lower self here. And you can see that they're standing on both the land and the water, which means that this touches both your mind both your outside world and your body, as well as your emotions and your spiritual spark within as well. So it hits both sides of our being there. And then you have the Three of Wands. And Wands is really our spark, our drive, our ambitions, our like that incentive that comes up within us. It also represents our spiritual side because of the fire that it is. And the Three of Wands is about ready to move on to something new and different. The Two of Wands is about making plans and, how to get to different places. And the Three of Wands is really about moving into that next phase, into a new phase. She's like looking at those ships that are coming in and going, okay, I'm ready for the new. I'm ready for something different than I had before. Which is great. I mean, that's anticipation. What are those ships bringing me? Miracles, right? Yeah. And here's the Eight of Pentacles. So you've been doing the work, and you're reaping the benefits from it. And it can be the physical world. You could have been doing that type of thing. But I really feel, because this is about miracles and the mystic, this is really about, you've been doing your inner work. You've been doing, because of the Hermit here too, the inner work, and you're seeing the results. And so just keep doing it. Keep taking, one thing at a time. Don't think about all the other things you need to create. Just focus on what you're creating in this moment. So I love that. So a good foundation to bring you into your September. And let's see what comes and unfolds during that month for you. You got the Lover's card here. So some would read this as, new love, maybe important improvements in current relationships and things like that. But it all happens from the inside out. And you can see this beautiful bright light here. This is your inner love that you're finding, through this journey into here. We talked about this Ace of Cups bringing you that unconditional love. It's flowing in and taking you to this new level. What I love is this story that comes with the Lovers for the Major Arcana. The couple cards before it are the Emperor and the Hierophant, which are kind of represent the egos, the humans side of creating all these supposed to roles and should be's and need to's and have to be's in this realm that kind of limit our human expansion, limit our spiritual expansion. I mean, they are all there for our purposes, and the intentions a lot of times are for our benefit, to help us survive as a human race, but then it leaks out into power-hungry egos, trying to control things. So we grow up with all these roles and suppression and stuff, but then the Lover's card comes in to the play after those two cards, which represents the first time that we are usually, as like young teenagers, willing to break the rules, willing to go against the, hierarchy and monarchy and whatever we see it as, is when we fall in love or lust or, that all those feelings that dwell up within us, and because we care so much about, I got to be with that person, I don't care what it is, I'm going to break the rules. And so it's the first time we get the guts, and the drive to overcome the fear of punishment for breaking those rules that were set up. And so it's a beautiful awareness that you have this love inside that's expanding. You're like, what? It's making you brave enough to go against those supposed to's and shoulds and need to's and have to's for the sake of this love and connection that you're finding inside. Yeah, and then you have the Mother of Pentacles. And this would be Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. So it is about, Pentacles are the outside world generally. And so it's this gratitude and thankfulness for what you do have. And that does happen as you connect, especially when you are getting this living waters pouring from the heavenly cup down into our cup, then you do feel complete and whole, and you're just feel like you have everything that you need. And so there is this underlying gratitude in your life. It also represents your higher self nurturing your lower self. So that is kind of reflective of the temperance, where you're this beautiful, powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. It just comforts the little us, making us feel safe and secure and whole, and we're just comfy, right? And then you have the Father of One. So you have the mother and the father, which, this can be, usually that's a male and female. So it's definitely, you have this energy of divine masculine, divine feminine in your life showing itself. Because the King of Wands can also represent for me, because wands represent your spirit side, is a big card for me. That recognizes your higher self, just like in that previous card. So it's very much this connection to this higher love that's just expanding. And it started with your journey of the Hermit here. Let's see what else the Creator wants you to know about how this love is impacting you, or just what's going on in your September 22nd to October 22nd. The Father of Wands, the King of Wands in the regular deck, can also be showing you as your physical being, how you can focus in and use your drive and your ambition to get things done. So that it can also be this new drive and motivation, these awarenesses that you're coming up with here, and the choices that you're making with that Chariot. You're able to just put your pedal to the metal and get stuff done. Yeah, because in here you have the Knight of Wands. So this is definitely movement. The Knight is all about action. So you're taking action and putting all that, as I was just saying, putting all that into, putting all that energy into something that's bringing you, reflecting, this connection, these passions, these this new love that you're feeling. And it can be to here, is there any, the Three of Wands can also for me represent new plans. Originally we have the Two of Wands is about making plans for the future and what you're going to do with all that energy, and the Three of Wands is having made some progress in it, but it's a switch of plans too. So with this discovery, you are making the switch of plans, and so you are putting those into action during this period of time here as well. And lo and behold, you had the Hermit here. So I was saying, you're continuing to find yourself, continuing to expand yourself and your awareness. You're still spending time for yourself and to yourself, especially with that Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. You are taking time for you still. And that's quite all right. You go through periods of time. Pisces usually do, well, depending on everything else in your chart, but usually Pisces, because of that emotional energy that you have, where you feel a lot of people's emotions, and you swim in the, it's usually a white fish and a black fish. You swim in the white side and the light side, and then you also go into the shadowy dark pond, into the depths too. And so there's times where you need to get away from the world, and you do that self-reflection, and you do that deep looking into things. And so this seems to be that period of time that you're having. And so it doesn't mean that you have to be away from everyone and everything, but you're definitely taking time for you. And you have the King of Pentacles, and a lot of this has to do with again, the outside world, but the King of Pentacles is this feeling of abundance, feeling of wholeness, feeling of completeness. So you have the Queen of Pentacles, you also have the King of Pentacles here. So definitely you have both the feminine and masculine side of the Pentacles. So you have this divine presence in your life in the physical realm. You just feel complete and whole. And again, it's all about these feelings of abundance and feeling whole and complete, like you have no cares in the world. So it's really this focus on gratitude and thankfulness, focusing on what you do have and not focusing in the lack and what you don't. It brings you up until October 22nd, and you have the Fool card, which this is, for me, represents, of course, huge, refreshing new beginning, because it's usually the World card is the completion, which is the last one in the major arcana. And then you have the brand new, starting at 0 again. So a whole new, looking at the world in a whole new way. For me, the Fool also represents our soul, the original new beginning for our earth existence. And it's before you're making the leap and jumping off of the branch here out into this, sea of this world. So it's really about, connecting to that higher you and understanding who you really are, remembering, the mystic within you. I think it was the one I did right before this one, the orange leaf, talked about, or might have been the first one. I know it's one of the last two in within this reading, was about getting back to your origins. And so this is that feeling too, 0, but it's an going back to your origin, going back to who you really are, that you're more than this human bodysuit, but that you're this angel walking around in this human bodysuit having this experience here, and that you chose to come here for a purpose, on purpose. And so this is that discovery and that connection to your higher self. Yeah, and then you have the Son of Swords. Swords, your thoughts, your beliefs, your mentalities, your mindsets. And the Sun is usually the Knight in the irregular tarot. And so you have the Ace of Swords here, which is, you use that for new thoughts, moving into new beliefs and new ways of thinking, but it also cuts away old ways of thinking, those that no longer serve you. And with it being a Knight, it's all about taking action on those thoughts and on those new beliefs, moving in those directions. So it's definitely this movement and thought, and I really feel a change in thought. And we'll see what else the Creator wants you to know about this energy for October 22nd to November 22nd. And you have the Nine of Pentacles, which is beautiful. So this is, the King of Pentacles at the end is just like total abundance, understanding how abundance works, and understanding, that you may not always get what you think you want, but you always get what you need, and, focusing on gratitude and thankfulness. And the Nine of Pentacles is about sitting in your garden by yourself. It's like this hermit has been planting this garden, and now they're sitting in that garden with their feathered friends, your spirit guides and all your spiritual buddies on the other side. And you're just in there feeling abundant and whole and complete. And it's like, I've got everything I need. This is beautiful. I'm seeing the fruits of all my labors and all my patience, and I'm just loving it. And she's in this wonderful place, in this card where she feels content. And so it's a beautiful feeling there. And then you have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups, cups are emotions, divine feminine. The combination of these is a lot like the High Priestess. She's the one that connects and speaks to the other realm. She's also, of course, holding on to that Ace of Cups that we talked about in the Temperance card here. So she's holding on and connecting to that unconditional love, emotion, and energy on the other side. And you can see even in her hair is the universe. And so she has this connection to the other worlds, to the higher worlds, like your soul. And so this is very much about this mystic energy. And this, it's that High Priestess diving into the unknown, diving into the emotions. Queen of Cups, I believe, is the Pisces card, one of them, and as well as I think the High Priestess. But it's definitely this emotion that you have, and this emotional connection that you're able to dive into. And then we talked about the Two of Wands over here on the Three of Wands. And so I definitely feel like you are adjusting plans, and then this is making, especially with this brand new start, with that full out of 0, you're making new plans because you see the world in a whole different way. Literally, you're holding the world in your hands going, so this is different. How do I want to approach my life now? Because I have different different intentions, different things at my heart and different things at my core. So I love that. Yeah, because here you go. You have the Tower. And with this Fool card, it's good because I was kind of like, should I go into what we all decide before we come down here? And they're like, just wait. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's why we waited, because the Tower is definitely this message. And so the story that comes with the Tower card is, before you come down here, when you're this soul that's deciding, what kind of adventures do I want to have before I leap off into, this beautiful sea of the world? And so it's like, we're gonna play this game, and what avatar am I gonna have, and how's my gaming experience gonna be? And so we decide, we're with the Creator, and we're with all our beings of unconditional love and light that are going to support our journey, help things unfold as we go through life. And so we come here, we're like, okay, I'm going to be born here, and this is the avatar, this is what I'm going to look like, this is my, my strengths, what my weaknesses are, my opportunities, who my parents are going to be, where I'm going to live, blah, 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 blah. And then you're like, okay, and this is when I'm going to leave the game. So this is going to be the final scene for this avatar in this game. And then these are all the levels and all the things I want to accomplish as I'm going throughout this life. And so that's can consider it fated events. And then within each of these events and our lives as it unfolds, our little human character does have free will, and we get to choose what everything means about us, and we get to choose what I'm going to feel. Am I going to choose a feeling of extreme fear, or am I going to choose a feeling of extreme unconditional love, or anything in between? And so all that unfolds, and we control the extent and the intensity by which we live, and that's what we do. But these events are going to unfold regardless, because they are in the plan and in the fates, right? The extent that they happen and how big they are in our life is totally up to us. It could be a little bump in the road, or we can run into a wall. Now the Tower comes in where, let's say there's this event or situation in our lives, whether it's someone in our lives, like we have a relationship with someone, or it's a job, or a possession of some sort, something in the external world, or thoughts, in our brain that have us, are impacting our life. And if this continues, we wouldn't get to experience these other levels and things that we want to do. So before we've come down here, we go, okay, I see that this point in my life, that this would keep me from doing these other things. So I need you to remove this if I don't remove it myself. And they're like, okay, at this point we will. But before that, we have like this countdown. And if we're connected like this mystic, where we're hearing and listening, we will hear the countdown of, you can remove that out of your life, 5. You can remove that out of your life, 4. You can remove that out of your life, 3, 2, 1. And if we have chosen to experience it all the way up to this point, then that's when we hear the and the lightning strikes, and this is removed out of our life for us. And a beautiful message that comes with that is kind of dual, that we're not on this drama train that's out of control, that's going to derail and blow up. We're actually more on this monorail track that's attached, that doesn't detach, and it runs smoothly, and it has its set times, and it runs, and it stops, the doors open, the doors close, bing, and moves on. It's all planned, and it's very safe feeling. It's not out of control. It feels very planned out and in control. The other thing is that it converts us from feeling like I'm a victim to life, that life is happening to me, and it transforms it into where we're a victor, and that life is happening for me instead. Life doesn't happen to me, it happens for me. So beautiful awareness and beautiful, understanding of all that, especially with these plans that are being made. You almost understand to a point that, I'm going to trust my intuition and make very vague plans and follow my gut and try to live each day instead. which brings you into November 21st to December 21st. And then you have the Nine of Pentacles, which this, I think, didn't she have that in here? Yeah, Nine of Pentacles here. So that continues that feeling of feeling whole, that wholeness, that inner wholeness and that inner completeness happening inside you. The Tower. So you got the Nine of Pentacles and the Tower again, which just reemphasizes that, yes, this starts here and continues into November. And then you have Temperance. So Temperance is coming back here. So again, the whole completion, you're seeing the whole story. Like this was like the beginnings, and then now you've experienced it. And you are really feeling that balance between your higher self, the Fool, and your lower self as the human being experiencing life. And that you realize, and you came here on purpose for a purpose, and that it's this balance of life, and that as long as you're searching in the outside world for your wholeness and your completeness and your self-worth, that's where you experience the shadows and the darker side of things. But with this mystic and connecting to the higher realms, you really find what you've been looking for, and that is transformative, of course. And then you have the Empress. So you do end up really coming back to this place. The Empress, it really is about this. I don't think you had her in here, did you? No, I don't think so. But the Empress is like the Queen of Queens. She embraces a lot of the emotional side. It has the moon on here, so it's definitely, she's connected to, it's like, again, Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, a lot like, okay, you didn't have the Empress, but you had the Mother of Pentacles, which reminds me of the Empress. That's what I was remembering. It was here somewhere. But it's very much that connection to the naturalness and the flow of nature, that there's this cycle of things that happen in our life. Winter is this time where you're a hermit, and you spend time repairing and preparing and getting ready. And then spring is when you plant seeds and it blooms and it grows. And summer is this season where you harvest things. And then, fall, the autumn, is when you see the things that are ready to fall away, and you see this wonderful pattern, this wonderful cycle of life that happens. And, so it's about new birth, new things, this freshness, this non-restrictiveness, because after the Empress comes the, Emperor and the Hierophant, which try to restrict and control. And in doing that, they try to organize things. They limit us and limit our abilities. And so this is that freedom that you have with that. And 3 is also the number of creativity. Okay, and then lastly, not lastly, obviously we have some more cards to pull here, but for this last piece here, for these cards, what else do you have to tell our Pisces about November 21st to December 21st? I feel like cards are wanting to come out and make themselves known. They're just haven't been very obvious. Okay, that one and that one. Okay. So 10 of Cups. So this is like ultimate fulfillment, just on every level. It's like each one of these is that Ace of Cups we were talking about. The Ace of Cups. You're just overjoyed and feeling fulfilled on every level of your emotions. I can't be happier. It's almost like you can't even stop smiling. And the 9 of Wands, you're holding the Ace of Wands in your hand here, and any obstacles, you're really feeling the power to be resilient, and that you'll get through any obstacle because you have that power. In fact, with that Ace of Wands, when you move it out of the way and you grab a hold of your power, it immediately opens up this gap that you can walk right through. So you really feel there's nothing that you can't do. And then you have the Death card. Don't freak out. This is all about death and rebirth. So there's things that are dropping out of your life, and that's the Tower. Things are being removed out of your life that no longer serve you, making room for the new things to come in. Yeah. And then you have the Mother of Pentacles, which is the Queen of Pentacles. You've got the Queen of Pentacles again. So again, the Empress being reflected here. So just a lot of cards that are reiterating everything that you're experiencing here. Yeah. Because you have the Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, just a lot of amazing, blissful cards. I know Death in the Tower, people are like, oh my God, but it's like, no, those are happening for you. It's, these obstacles, these things that are no longer serving you, the things that are draining you, the things that are keeping you from miracles, those things are what are being removed out of your life. And then lastly, you got the Father of Swords here. And again, so this sword here is very magical. Look at I love how they have it colored here. This is the King of Swords, Father of Swords. And it's a balance between your thoughts and your heart. And that's what the King of Swords learns throughout his process in his life. Because he realizes that, he's moved from the Ace of Swords all the way up to and he's like the master of his mind. And he realized that, whenever I went just off of logic and the human facts and everything else, it never turned out too well. Didn't emotionally fulfill. It may have reached the task, but I didn't feel like I was living. And so the Father of Swords, the King of Swords, understands that bringing in our passions and our heart and, definitely spirit, and which can, all of that emotional and our heart connect us to the other side and that higher wisdom, that there's a lot of wisdom that comes from outside of our brain and our thoughts and our beliefs. And usually, I don't think I had the King of Swords anywhere in here. He has his hand extended. So he's holding on to the Ace of Swords, but he has his hand extended, which means he's open to other thoughts and other beliefs and stuff coming as well. And then lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to pull a card here from another Wild Unknown deck, which is the Animal Spirit. And so this is going to be what Animal Spirit Guide is going to be with you from the very beginning of the Lionsgate portal on August 8th, all the way through at least up to the winter solstice, if not, after. And so we'll see which animal the creator wants you to know is going to be with you. What animal spirit? Going to be your companion, your little travel buddy. All right, creator. So who is going to be with our Pisces on this journey? Okay, there we go. Drum roll, please. And you got the dragon. And we'll put that right here. And that is a very, the dragon, I love dragons, and it's mainly Chinese dragons because they are kind of like, represent the angels, because they're very much beings of wisdom, a lot like owls, right? So this is seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It's almost as if we're traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror, deep into our eyes, when we even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. And this is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride, and as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It's said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their Agni is dim, Agni. I probably mispronounced that. And it says Agni, described as inner fire or sacred intelligence, may even, or is described as inner fire and sacred intelligence. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. Father of Swords, intelligence, right? And the dragon has to do with the third chakra. It says the subtle energy of the dragon lives at the navel center in the Manipura chakra. And the Manipura translates to the city of hidden gems. And behind its gates burn the fire of our transformation and digestion. The sages believe health of the fire at the navel center is what governs our ability to clearly see both the inner and outer dimensions. So that's the solar plexus chakra. It's more commonly known in the Western culture. But I love that because it mentions transformative energy, which that was what the mystic was all about, right? The butterfly transformation. So perfect. And it mentions intelligence, which is the swords, and our wisdom and understanding. So I really feel like you both have the owl and the dragon as your spirit animals and your spirit guides through this process here. And just, with owls and with dragons, whenever you see those, either, I would say when you see an owl in real life, if you see a dragon in real life, I think we're all in trouble. Or you might look at what you've been drinking or smoking. But if you see them both in the physical world or somewhere on social media or, wherever you might see it, when it comes into your life, just realize when you hear people talking about dragons or owls or witness those, it's a reminder to point you back to your journey and know that you're not alone in it, that you have their energy and their support to pull from as you go through that. And you might even print out pictures or draw them if you are artistic, or just want to do stick figures and know what it means. Putting them all around you as reminders will help you bring you back to the focus of your journey, surrendering to miracles and feeling this beautiful energy unfold for you during autumn. So I am loving this for you. Like I said, just realize you're not alone in every second of every day that you go through life, that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and I love you too. You have an amazing autumn, and I know I'll be talking with you very soon. So you take care and hang in there. Bye-bye now.